In this video, we're going to talk about how you can build up the walls of your vessel using something called the slip and score technique, and we're going to be building with coils. So first I have to make a coil. I pinched off a piece of clay that was just a little bit bigger than my fist, and I'm squeezing it into a long shape. Then I'm going to put even pressure on all of my fingers. I'm standing up, and now I'm going to start rolling. Have to make sure I have plenty of space to roll. As I roll, my hands go away from me and also slightly outwards. This helps to stretch the coil. If you end up with a spot that isn't round, set it on the table and tap it in the opposite direction to kind of move it back towards that round shape. Then you can continue to roll over it. And you rolled a coil. Let's talk next about how you're going to attach that coil. To attach it, you're going to slip and score. You need a fork and some water. I'm just dipping my fork in the water, and then I scratch the lip of my vessel where I want to attach the coil. Dip it in water, scratch. Dip it in water, scratch. This is what it should look like after you've finished dipping it in water and scratching all the way around. So the scratching is called scoring, and slip is water and clay mixed together to a glue-like consistency. So that's why we're dipping our fork in the water, to create a little bit of slip. I repeat the same process on my coil. So this is what my coil should look like. You'll see I've slipped and scored in a line across that coil. Now I'm going to place the pieces that I've scored towards each other. Think about this like Velcro. So I'm sticking these two pieces together. If I have some extra coil, I'm just going to pinch it off, and I'm going to set this coil aside because I can use it to continue building on top. Okay, you're not done yet. This next part is really important. You can see how I'm supporting the top of my vessel with my hands as I'm squishing that coil onto the lip. I like to use my thumb to smooth over that seam. It's really important that you smooth over this seam really well so that you can get out any tiny air pockets. You also need to smooth on the inside of your vessel. Again, I like to use my thumb and fingers to do this. You can try smoothing with a wooden shaping tool or a rubber or wooden rib if you have those tools. I like to take a moment to make sure that this coil is working with the overall shape that I want for my vessel. So I can use another tool like the back of my spoon to continue smoothing over that seam. Okay, here I'm repeating the same process again, dipping my fork in the water, scoring. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to continue to build that vessel up even taller. I score the coil, and then I put the two scored sides together. Okay, but what do I do if the coil that I have isn't long enough? Don't worry, that's no big deal. Just take a smaller coil, slip and score, and then use that smaller coil to fill in the gap. Once you smooth over all of this, you won't even be able to tell. Every single coil that I add has to be squished down so that that seam disappears and I have a really firm connection between the coil and the rest of my vessel.